So yeah, go ahead and share your screen again with us, since everything's happening from there.
Yes, I'm going to share my screen.
Uh-huh.
Can you see?
To what now?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So we were here.
Correct.
Mm, so-
All
okay.
right. So so essentially, we to be able to do the SVN, we've actually got to be in the area, one of the folders or subfolders
Mhm.
of the code that we checked out. Okay. So SVN
Okay.
knows about the checkout area. So
Mhm.
yeah, go ahead and do the enter on the ls-al. So we've cd to indils www.
Mhm. So I typed here ls, then once hyphen all. So need to enter here.
Yep, you got it. We can just see what the files are out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so essentially a WordPress setup. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
For the marketing and information side of the website.
Yes.
Okay. So next, now you should be able to do the SVN status, and go ahead and just hit the up arrow a couple of times to get back to that SVN status that we've already entered once. Just
Mhm.
start hitting the up arrow. Do you know about this trick?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yep. So yeah, just keep doing it until we get to the SVN status, and then enter on that one.
Okay. So right now I need to type SVN
I know, just keep
status.
hitting the up arrow because we already did that command once, so we don't have to type it in again. So we can
Okay.
just up arrow to it until we find it.
Okay. So now on which commands I need to go?
Oh, just hit the up arrow several times. So
Yes.
yeah, press the up arrow, press it again, press the up arrow again, keep going.
Okay.
Yep, keep going. There it is. Okay, so that's the one we want. Now you can just hit enter.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so whenever you do an SVN status like
Mm-hmm.
this, it's going to list any of the files that have changed that are different, that you've made changes to, that
Mm-hmm.
are different from the repository. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So right now, nothing at all is listed. So that's very good because nothing has changed because you just checked out the whole repository, the entire
Mm-hmm.
project. You checked it out onto your machine.
Okay. It
So
means
therefore, it
when
matches.
I will okay, when I will change any these file, any suppose these one. So when I will type here SVN status, those files will show here.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah, if you make a
Okay.
change, it'll change. So let's do this. Let's do, see that we've already got this file called ZZZ test at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want, just go in and you can just go in and edit that file, make a change to it.
Okay. Like I can type my name.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Saved.
Uh-huh. All right.
Okay. So again I can type same command.
Yep, so you can do the same command, up arrow. Yeah, just hit the up arrow, save some time.
And enter.
Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yes. That is showing.
So now what it shows is that that file has been modified. So
Yeah.
is for modified. Okay, let's do another thing. Let's do a touch space ZZZ test 2. So we're going to
That,
create a new file using the Linux touch command. Yep,
this one.
yep, touch space and then the file name, ZZZ test 2.
Okay.
Uh-huh. and put a number 2 on it so it's a different file.
Uh, is anything type or enter?
Add the number 2 at the end of the file name. So the number 2, just hit the 2. Yeah, perfect. Now hit enter.
Okay.
Okay. So now if you do the SVN status.
It's make me different by copy here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have to actually even change it. It's just empty at this point. So either way, you can have something in it, nothing in it, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see
Okay.
what it shows now for SVN status.
Okay. Again. Then enter.
Uh-huh. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So now it has one file that's been modified, and it's got a question mark next to this other file. All right.
Yes.
So
Right.
the question mark means that your local repository sees a file that's out there, but it doesn't have it listed inside of its repository. Okay.
Okay.
So you have essentially a local database of all the files that are in this project. Okay. And whenever anything changes or gets added, or something happens in your local copy of things, the SVN status goes and it says, let's look at what is there and what's actually in the repository. Okay. And one file is modified, so it's different. And this other file, it's a brand new file. So the repository, I don't know anything about this. Like, what's this? Okay. So what you've got to do is you've got to actually tell the repository that, hey, there is a new file out there. All right. So all we're going to do is we're going to add the file name to the repository to let the repository know that there's a new file. So to do that, we say svn space add, and then the location of the file. So svn add space. And since we're at the same level, we don't have to go, putting all the subdirectories. We can just put the file name. So go ahead and add that file name to let the repository know that file exists. So just type out that file name.
So okay. So but path I need to first I need to go that path, and then
Well,
I need to check.
we're at the just go ahead and backspace, and you can do a PWD to see where you're at. Okay.
PWD.
So there's the PWD. Yeah, just enter. So here's the path of your current directory, your working directory. The path of working directory is what PWD stands for. So you're in that location. Let's do an ls-al is good.
Less space in hyphen, right?
Yep. It's good. Okay. So there's those two files, zztest and zztest2. Okay. In the www directory. And if you do that svn status again, okay.
These two files are modified and one is new.
Right. So what happens is when you do that svn, the subversion goes and it looks in your current directory and all the subdirectories underneath it, for that matter. Okay. In the wp-admin, the wp-content, the wp-includes directory, that test directory up there. It's looking in all these different directories to see what the comparison is between its database entries, and it sees, oh, okay, there's the zzz test that's been modified since since the last update was done. Okay. And there's the zzz test 2 that, wow, I don't know anything about that. I don't have that listed in my repository. I don't have that file. So you've got to tell SVN that we have a new file that we're going to add to the project. Okay, so we're going to add that new file, ZZZTest2, to the project. So just do
Okay.
svn space add.
What is the command?
So svn space add.
Okay.
And now you have to give the path of where that file is located, or since you're in the same directory, you just tell it, here's the name of the file. Okay? You don't have to give, you
Right,
either,
right.
you can
Because
give,
right now I'm on the same directory.
right. You could give an absolute path, you could give a tilde/indels ww/zztest2, or just zztest2. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay?
Okay.
So go
Okay.
ahead and hit enter. Okay. So now I've added it. Okay, so now the repository knows there's a new file that is going to be added. And
Okay.
let's do one more thing to it first. Or do your SVN status. Let's just see how that changes things in terms of what's changed, what's different.
Okay. Okay. So how I can check that is entered?
Oh, just do the SVN status again. Yeah, just yeah, SVN status. Perfect. Okay. So now it knows that there's one file that's been modified and one file that we have to add. Whatever's in that file, we have to add it to the repository. Okay, in a moment here.
Okay. So from here I can check that is added.
Uh-huh. And if you want, you can, okay, what are you doing?
This one was the
Okay. Yeah, so you're looking over at the, you're actually looking at the website, right?
right.
Right. So the MOBA on that side where you're looking at, okay, we haven't updated, we haven't done anything over there at all.
Okay.
Okay. So we've just done things on your local copy of the repository.
Okay.
So you can think of it this way: is that by having all these local copies, okay, of the actual project, different developers, Mog, me, you, our Dev1 developer, could all be working on this at the same time. Okay,
Okay.
and they're all going
Okay.
to have their own local copy of, the master copy. So there's a master copy up there in the repository.
Okay.
So whenever changes are made locally by you or me or Mog, we've always got to make sure that we go in and check those changes in, okay? So that the
Okay.
master copy gets updated. And
Okay.
then, once the master copy is updated, okay, everybody can grab whatever the changes were and move them down to their local copy so they can work on things. That kind of
Okay.
makes sense?
Okay.
Okay? And the whole purpose of this is that that when you're doing large project development work, you want to have a record of all the changes that are made. Like that ZZZ test, okay, that file that you just modified a moment ago, like what was the actual change that was made? Oh, okay. Um, uh, uh, Sarjeev, he actually went out and he added a line, okay, that had his name in that file, okay?
Okay.
So, so that's essentially how that works, okay? So, yes. So it'll have a record of that. So let's do one more thing here. I just want to show you how things change within the status, okay? So far we've seen a modified. We have an A tag for it needs to be added, okay? Let's go actually modify ZZZ test 2 and see if that changes that to a modify tag, okay?
Okay.
So just go ahead and do your editor thing in that other window, just like you did to ZZZ test, and just add something like you can add the spelling of your name again or something, so I, say it correctly this next time, maybe. Sanjeev, not Sarjeev, or whatever I said.
Yeah, I opened this.
Okay. Wow. So
Save.
is your first name and your last name Sanjeev?
My first name is Sanjeev.
Uh huh.
My last name is Kumar.
Oh, cool. Kumar. Okay. That name I've heard of before. That's like it's a pretty common name, right?
Yeah, very common.
I was thinking so. We have like Smith and Williams are real common names in the U.S. and England and Great Britain. I don't know about Australia. Probably Australia too. So
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So you've done that. You've saved it. Let's go back up to the other window and let's run the SVN status again and see if that A changed to an M. So what do you think is going to happen? Weird. Why didn't it change?
Don't know because I
That's the
saved
question now.
it.
Why did the A not change to an M? Right? You modified the file, right?
Yeah, right. But it's again showing a.
Yeah, but it still shows A. So is something wrong? Or is that the way it's supposed to be?
Yes, there should be something wrong.
Well, that's what you would think. There would be something wrong. But this is actually how it should be. Because the repository a moment ago,
Mm-hmm.
when you did that svn add zzz test2, you didn't
Yes.
actually add the contents of that file to the
Mm-hmm.
repository. All you did was tell the repository, there's a file, in a moment when I do a check-in, there's a file that's going to be, that I want you to add to the project. This way, if you wanted to, you could actually have files on
Mm-hmm.
your local system, okay? Maybe configuration files or something that you needed for things to work properly on your system, but they
Mm-hmm.
aren't really part of the project, okay? Or you
Okay.
could even have notes or things like that that you kept for yourself in as part of your local part of the project, but wouldn't be actually added to the project because it's really not part of the project, okay? So when
Okay.
we did the SVN add, all we
Mm-hmm.
did was we said that when we do a check-in, okay, of all of our changes,
Mm-hmm.
okay, at that point in time, that's when we're going to actually add that file to the repository. So it's not added to the repository yet, okay?
Yes.
Either
Yes,
the,
that
the
is not
contents of the
accurate.
file or even the modifications you made. Okay, so that's why it still shows an A. Because it's
Okay.
telling, because it's telling SVN that, hey, here's a brand new file. You know about it now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
we said we're going to add it next time we do a check-in. We're going to add it to that master copy. But that's why it still shows an A. So you can do whatever you want to that file, and the master copy just knows that there should be a file out there, but it hasn't been
Mm-hmm.
added yet. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Right. So that's the difference between modify and we're going to add a new file to the project. Okay?
Okay.
So
Okay.
when and this comes into play lots of times when you've got a website and you've got all
Mm-hmm.
those pages that are already created, but you're modifying it, and then somebody wants to add a picture, okay, to a particular page. So you put the
Okay.
picture on there, you make sure everything looks good, and then when you
Mm-hmm.
do the check-in, it's like the picture isn't there because the add wasn't done because it's a brand new file. Okay,
Okay.
so anything, yeah, that's brand new has to be added. All right, so let's see.
Correct.
So far we've done SVN status. You did the
Mm-hmm.
checkout earlier to create your repository, and we've done an add to say here's a brand new file that needs to be added. It's not added yet, okay, but it will be added
Mm-hmm.
in a moment. And that's why that question mark was up above the SVN add. Okay? So, all
Okay.
right. All right. So let's do an SVN info next. So
SPN
SVN
info.
space info. Uh-huh. Let's find out what version of the repository you have. So SVN space info. All right. So the important thing here is where it shows the revision number, 170. Okay?
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
important thing right there. Okay? So you are at revision 170. Okay? That's your revision.
Okay.
And your revision 170
Mm-hmm.
currently has one file that's been modified and not checked in, and
Mm-hmm.
one file that needs to be added. Okay, so you've got two differences between the master, between revision 170 and what you have on your local system. All right, so let's go out to. Okay, any questions on that?
No, not right now.
Okay, and oh, it also shows the last person who changed the repository was dev2. Okay,
Okay,
so
last changed.
yeah, by developer number 2, so dev2. And I think your
Mm.
setup is soft or what is it? Soft photon 20 something, 20 something,
23,
30,
23.
33. Okay, all right. So in a moment here, last change author will be changed by you in a moment. Okay, but let's go look at the
Okay.
actual repository and see what it shows for its version. So let me go find where that command is, where that place is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be, I think, that here. Ah, here it is. Yes, okay. So I'm going to share a link with you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see where I can do that. Yeah, that's a good place. Okay, so go ahead and take that link that I just shared with you on Hangouts, and go ahead and enter that into your browser. Okay, and
Okay.
okay, good, excellent. Okay, so this shows essentially all the different projects we have going right now out here with Subversion that we're tracking. Okay, so
Yes,
which is the one we're working on? Which project is it?
this one.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and click on that.
Okay, I clicked that.
Okay, and so branches, trunks, etc. So the main thing is that main trunk right there. It shows it as 170, right?
Okay.
Uh-huh. You can drill down and you can actually go in and look at what the current code looks like that's out there. So the
Yeah.
main things here are that before you do a check-in, okay, of any of the changes
Okay.
made, you always want to make sure that there aren't any other changes that other people have already checked into the master copy,
Mm-hmm.
okay, before you do your own check-in, because if you do, that'll cause problems, that'll cause conflicts, all right?
Okay.
So it's always good to check back at this master repository and see, okay, what revision things are at, okay? And
Okay.
Um, and if we have to recover something, this is also a way that we would. Yeah, don't click on the go to most. Oh yeah, I see. Go to most recent version. That's good. Um, but there's ways that we can recover. If things go really bad. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the most important thing. So back out to the top level. You can just go to the Subversion repositories, upper left corner. Click on that.
Mm-hmm.
Not there, but back on the website.
Here.
So upper left-hand corner where it says Subversion Repositories, click on that up above the 168. Upper left corner, up above that. See where it says, yeah, click on that. That's it. Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So the main thing to note here, revision 170, okay? And
Yes.
developer 2 were the last things there. Okay, so that's what's been checked in.
Yes.
Okay. And then back on your side of things, so back to the terminal where we were looking at the status. Okay.
Okay.
That SVN info, what revision are you at? So what's your revision?
This is 170 revision. This
Yep.
is
Yep. And what was the
okay,
revision number for the master copy of the repository?
and same here is showing.
Yep. Okay. So good. So those are matching, right?
Right.
We could do a check-in if we wanted to at this point, right?
Right.
Now, what I almost always do, just as a precautionary measure, okay, we kind of did the check there just to make sure, but I kind of always do an SVN update before I ever do a check-in. So let's just do that command because this will be something that we'll have to do again here in a moment. So let's do an SVN space update, and let's see if anything changes. So, yep. All right. So what it says is it tried to do updating, okay? And since there weren't any things changed that had been checked into the repository, it didn't show any new files that were changed on your system, okay, your local copy.
Okay.
And then it also basically said like, hey, you're at revision 170, okay? So nothing changed, okay? No changes were added to your local copy, and it's also saying you're at 170. Okay. Now, do a, let's see if I remember the check-in command. I think it's going to be check-in, so svn. Okay, so let's do an svn help, because I'm not exactly sure what the next command is we need to do. It's got a little bit of different kind of thing. So here's all the different commands that we could execute, okay? So we've seen the checkout command, okay? We've seen the add command,
Yeah.
okay? There's there's a commit command. There's some kind of oh, I don't see a check-in command, okay? Yeah, I know. So oh, there's a diff command that could come in handy sometimes if you want to compare things, like the changes you made and what it was at some prior revision or something. That could be helpful sometimes. There's the info command that we've used. I don't know what the list command is. I never really do that one. Oh, make dir. Okay. Make dir could be useful if you needed to make a directory, make a whole subdirectory. You're going to have to tell Subversion that, hey, there's a directory out there, okay? Or the move, which is the same thing as rename. So if you need to rename one file to another file name, you've got to let Subversion know about that. So these are all Subversion commands to let Subversion know how the structure of the project, the folders, files, are being changed or added or renamed, okay, or modified. Okay.
Okay.
So, and there's that update command. So let's do one more thing. Let's do an svn help space commit. Let's see what it says about that command. So svn help, H-E-L-P first. I think it's going to be this way. Space commit. Enter. Okay, so lots of information here. So let's go kind of scroll up a little bit. All right, so it's got, the command itself has a lot of different things with the command, right?
Mm. Right.
Um, but the main syntax of it is svn space commit, okay? And then you're going to have a message argument, okay, that specifies, what it is that you're, just kind of a little message to let people know, what is it that we're doing right here for this particular set of modifications, right?
Okay.
And
Right.
then when we do that commit, that will create a whole new revision number, revision 171, whatever the next one is in order,
Mm-hmm.
okay, for this particular project. And if we ever had to revert back to some prior revision, then that revision number and what it is, the changes that are being made, that helps to know what to do. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and have you scroll down to the bottom, and we'll go ahead and do a commit now. Okay. So
Okay.
we've done an update, and I usually always do an update before I do a commit, but it's good to check on that server side to see, hey, are there any updates that I've missed? Have I missed any updates, okay, that I didn't pull down? All right. So
Okay.
now we're ready to commit. So we'll do an svn space commit space, then a dash m, dash m for message.
Dash and then message.
No, just M. You can just use the letter M. So dash M is in message space, and then we're going to put whatever our message is in quotes. So let's do a single quote,
Mm-hmm.
and then what are we doing here? What is this? What have we just been doing? What would your message be to say, like, what are these changes that we just made?
Okay. Update that ZZ test 2.
Okay. Now we could say very specific things like that, like I updated ZZZ test 2. Okay. But
Mm.
we don't really want to get into the specifics of the files. What we really want the message to say about is uh, learning something like learning how to use SVN. Okay, maybe
Okay.
something like that, or it might be added pictures for blog. Okay,
Uh,
so it's more generic, just about what it is, and then we can always look to see what what it is that, by the history, we can look at the history of things as to what people were doing, and therefore get an idea of, like, okay, what were they working on? Okay, maybe they were working on the menus, maybe they were working on the login. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so right
Okay.
here, you don't really want to say anything about the blog page because you didn't do any editing of the blog page, right?
Right.
Right. So we're just like learning SVN test or something like that. Yeah. So perfect, perfect. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's in your own words. Okay. I'm learning SVN. Okay. So perfect. So go ahead and hit enter, and let's see if this thing works. Okay. So what did it tell you it did?
Okay. Committed revision 171.
Mm-hmm.
Transmission file data. Assembly judge test heading judge test 2.
So it's essentially sent the modifications to ZZZ test up there,
Mm-hmm.
added the entire file ZZZ test 2.
To the main server.
Correct, to the master repository. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And it also says it committed revision.
Is 171.
Okay, cool. Everything looks great. However, do an
So
SVN status now, and what do you think you're going to see when you do an SVN status?
thing.
Good. No
It
difference,
mean
right?
right. So it
Now
means my
you're,
both
yeah,
files are updated to main
yeah,
server.
yeah. So there's no differences between the master copy and your local copy. Let's do
Okay.
one more thing though. Let's do an svn space info.
Okay.
Okay, so what does it show about your local copy? What revision are you at?
Its last change revision is 170.
Uh-oh,
It's
that's weird.
showing.
I think something's wrong again. Hmm. Okay, let's go back and look at the look back at your browser on the Subversion repositories. Let's see if it got updated up there. So just refresh that page. Just refresh it. Let's see what it jumps to.
It's
Cool.
showing
Okay,
171.
so we managed to update the repository, the master copy. It's now at what revision?
It's showing that that is
Yeah, there's your
once
file. Yeah, go into
one
ZZZ test. Look inside of it. See if you can see inside of it.
is showing this one and nothing else.
Eh, not really. Okay, so there's some kind of error message there. Okay, so I guess we can't really do it that way. So just do the back arrow.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there it is. It says Sanjeev Kumar. Okay, that's good. So it did
Yes,
have
that
you
is
in there. Okay. Yeah, so it has it in there. It's just weird that it has that warning array key exists, the first argument. So that's just a problem in general with SVN that we can ignore that warning thing. But it does show
okay.
the yeah. Also, click on that in the middle of the screen. Click on next to the orange button. Click on that view log. Yeah, so it's the top middle, the top in the middle. Yeah, there's the log message. I am learning SVN. Good, perfect. Okay, and over at the top, move to the right. The cursor to the right, to the right. Now down a little bit. Perfect. Now on that line, go to view log. View log. One more to the right. Perfect. Click on that. Okay, so the
Okay.
view log shows all the different changes that people have made.
Mhm.
Okay, that was made. Your change was made 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
Okay, and it was made to the main trunk, and
Okay.
it has that log message of I am learning.
Mhm.
So yeah, so these messages that say updated by Sarab, that's totally useless. Okay.
Okay.
Here it says updated by Sarab, updated Sarab, those are useless. Okay, the message below that where it says added images to SVN, okay, that were marked to be removed for unknown reason. That's a good message. That at least tells us something that they're dealing with images that were added to the repository. Okay,
Okay.
so you can kind of get an idea of some of the messages out there. Some are good, some are not so great.
Ha,
Okay. All right.
I got it.
So the main thing is that we're at revision. What is it on the main repository?
Okay, here
Uh-huh. Yeah. So in that master copy, we're at revision
171.
171, and you're the person that last updated it 4 minutes and 49 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So why is it still showing 170 here?
Yes, here is not showing.
Yeah, here it's like it's at the wrong revision number, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. So even though up above, when you did that commit, it showed that it committed revision 171.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that happened. You can think of it this way. You can think of it as you sent all that information up to the master copy, and it modified ZZZ test, added your name in there.
Mm-hmm.
It added the ZZZ test 2, okay? But all that happened up at the master copy. Nothing at your end really changed, right?
Right.
So when you do that SVN info, it shows revision 170 is where you're at. So what you've got to do is you've got to tell your local copy, okay, Well, give me that latest revision. Okay, what's the latest revision number up there? So you have to do an
Oh,
SVN. How do we move things down to your local copy?
yeah.
We have to do that SVN update.
SVN
Okay.
update.
Uh-huh. So this is saying move whatever's on the master back down to my local copy. All
No,
right.
this one should not
Right.
reason.
So now your local copy should be at 171. How can we check that to see what your local copy is at?
Okay.
Because it said it was at 171 before, but it really wasn't. So what do we use to
So,
see what your local repository is at?
so I will type
Yep,
SVN
that's it.
footage. No, no, it's showing.
Yeah. So now you're totally matching.
Yeah, and author name and some all are.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So
So
I think when I commit, after that SVN update is necessary to update.
that's right. You got it.
Yeah.
Yep. So the steps are um, before you start modifying or doing anything on your
Mm-hmm.
local copy, you want to make sure that you have the most recent copy of all the other commits that people have made. So,
Yes.
say tomorrow comes, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you're ready to start working on this, and
Okay.
you want to start modifying your local files. The very
Mm-hmm.
first thing you want to do is you want to do an SVN status and just
Mm-hmm.
see, hey, do I have any changes at my end? So let's do an SVN status right now,
Okay.
because we'll just kind of go through the steps that we would normally do. Okay, so we do SVN status. Uh-huh. Okay, and we see like, good, okay, I haven't made any changes at my end. So that means I've committed everything that I've changed up to the master
Mm-hmm.
copy. Okay,
Okay.
so then you can do, just to make sure that you have all the latest stuff, you can do an SVN update.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead and do that.
Suppose there was change on your side, then again I need to follow this SVN update.
Yeah, you always want to make sure before you start making modifications to your local copy, you always want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you get the latest revisions down to your system. hmm
Okay.
So that's why you always want to do an SDN update, just to be safe. Okay? So go ahead and run
Okay.
that. So it went up
Yeah.
there and it said, okay, we're still at revision 171. So there weren't any changes. Nobody made any changes since last change. Okay?
Okay.
Now at this point, you're ready to make changes.
Okay.
Okay? So let's go through one more time and let's go ahead and make a change. So make a change to any of those two files out there, the ZZZ files.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What part of India?
From India. So,
Yeah, which part? Which location? Which city? Which province? Etc.
I'm from North India.
Okay.
The city is Chandigarh. It's near. No, Delhi.
Oh, okay. So you're just north of New Delhi then.
Hmm. Okay.
Are you a suburb of New Delhi? Chandigarh?
Yeah. My city is Chandigarh and it's near New Delhi.
Cool. Okay, cool. All right.
This one safe.
Yep. So what's your next step?
Hmm. Then SCM status
Yep, that's what I would do.
that is modified.
Yep.
Like
Yep, exactly.
okay.
So now what do we do? Let's say that
SCM.
you've been working for 3 hours to make that change, okay? What's the next thing that you should probably do?
Okay. So before committing, once again I need to check any update file.
Yep.
Any status is showing my, and then I need to. Uh, we can check info also before update or commit.
Yeah. Yeah. Now remember, this info just shows your version number, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't show it what it is up on the master copy.
Yes.
So how do we find out if there's any changes up there? A couple of
So
ways. Uh-huh.
can update.
Yep, you can
Uh,
just do an update. Okay.
it's
So
showing
nothing
same one.
changed up there. You're still at revision 171. All right. So yeah. So now I guess we're ready to push your changes up to the master copy. So what's next?
Last, next is commit.
Yep, that's right.
So it should be SVN commit direct.
Yep.
Commit. Then file name also just commit.
Nope. Nope. It's going to know what files it needs to commit. Yeah, you don't have to do anything with the file names.
This file goes below. Ignore updated. Okay.
What happened there? Not sure how you went in there. Okay,
Change X.
this line and those below will be ignored. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, somehow you went into an SVN. Oh, you must have hit return, right? Yeah, so let's just try to get out of here. Let's try to exit out of here.
Exit.
So how do we exit out of the, what is this, nano?
Showing this one.
Yep, so you need to do that. Control X to get out of nano.
Showing this one.
So when you hit Control X, what happens?
Control X.
There we go. Now, it says save modified buffer. Just say no. You don't want
No.
to, the changes you made to whatever this file is, you don't want to make, you don't want to have any of those. So just say no.
Yes, I said
And
no.
then we have a choice of abort, continue, or edit. So let's just abort our commit. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see, did anything happen? Did it actually do a commit, or what happened here? What's our, what's the current state of things?
Same 171.
Okay. And how about the files that we have made a change to? What's happening with them?
Okay. Hit that as when status.
Yep, I'd do that one. Try that one. Mm-hmm. Okay,
This file
good.
is modified.
Yep, so it's been modified, hasn't been committed yet. All right. So what did you forget to do as part of the commit command line? What do you always have to do when you commit?
Okay.
You have to tell it some extra parameters there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so svn commit what?
Commit this file test2.
Well, that would be the add thing. And we don't have to do any add things before we commit. So it's going to be svn commit. Well, if you don't remember, just hit the up arrow and let's see what the last commit line looked like, right? Keep hitting the up
Right.
arrow until you, yeah, just on the command line at the bottom there. You start hitting the up arrow till you get to that commit, that last one. Okay, that was the bad one. Okay, good. Okay. Should be soon. There it is. Ah, so what were we missing?
Okay.
Yeah, we were missing the message. So you can just modify that and say what this commit is about.
Okay. right?
Hmm. I'd do a message more like adding location information, maybe something like that. But you can also say testing, just testing, adding location info, just testing. Yeah,
Interesting.
you can be real specific if you want. Yeah, give the
Yeah.
exact file or not. Yeah, either way. Yeah, so that should work at this point. If you ever have to have a single quote, like it says, um, like didn't make changes or something with an apostrophe in it, okay, be careful about that because you're going to have to put the thing in double quotes around the
Mm-hmm.
whole message. So you can use a single quote within the message, okay?
Okay.
So you can use double quotes or single quotes for your message,
Okay.
depending on what's inside of your message. So, but general, try not to use apostrophe within a message.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, go ahead and try that. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, it looks promising. What else do we need to do now?
Mhm. Okay, sending Jeju to. So we are ready to now commit.
Yep, we just committed the changes. So we've done our changes. We've sent them up to the master copy.
Mm-hmm. So
But,
it will be SVN commit.
well, no,
Then
no, no. We don't want to do that because we just committed the changes, right? It says it sent ZZZ test 2. It sent all the changes you made up to the master copy. Okay?
okay.
So now what you have on your system, your local system, and the
Okay.
master copy, they now match. And the master copy is now at revision 172, right?
Right.
Right. How
Okay.
about your copy? What are you at? What version? Revision?
Okay.
There you go. Yep. Hit enter on that one. That should be good. You can see what your revision is at. And you're still at revision.
That is all reason because right now I didn't commit to above.
Right. So what do we do to get your local copy at the right revision?
This one.
Well, how do we pull changes from the master copy to make sure? Yep, that's the one.
Yes,
Yep.
SVN update.
Right. So that's how we pull changes down. In this
Mm-hmm.
case, all we're doing is we're just pulling down the revision number. Okay. So that
Okay.
our local SVN repository will now totally match the repository, the master repository copy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I need to make SVN update.
Yep, that's it. Yep, do that command and then everything should be good. Okay, so now you're at revision 172.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a moment ago when you did the commit, you committed revision
Mm-hmm.
172 into the master copy.
Okay.
Now when you do the SVN update, it's saying, okay, you're now at revision 172 also in your local copy. Mm-hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
and that's how you check. Very good. That's it. That's the
Oh,
commands. Do you have SVN status, info,
yeah.
those two? And you
Yeah.
have SVN update and commit. Those are the 4 commands that you'll pretty much use just all the time. And that's it.
Yeah. If I want to add message, then SVN commit message.
Yeah, if you leave off the dash M, you get into that little weird stuff happening. So you just quit out of there and then abort. Okay,
Mhm.
and then go back in and do it with the message.
Oh, so simply if I want to check any modified file or somebody modified an SVN status, nobody changed.
Well, this only
Yeah.
says what you've done at your level. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You have to go
So.
to the other repository to see
Mm-hmm.
what other people are doing. You know what the changes are they've made. You can actually do differences and stuff like that, and see what
Mm-hmm.
some of the changes are that other people have made.
Okay.
Um, you know, if we get into that.
Okay. Yes. These are files on my local area that as are showing. Suppose
Yep.
somebody else also changed something in another files. Then when morning I will come, and how I can check out that as files to my
Yep.
local.
Yep. By doing the svn, what command brings those changes down?
Okay, so I need to write something else. SVN.
Well, what was the command like if Magarai or somebody else made changes to the master copy? What would you do at the beginning of tomorrow to grab those changes?
Yeah, how I can grab those changes to my directory, local directory.
Right. So that command is svn update. That's what will pull down the latest changes or modifications. Uh-huh. So if there had been changes up there, you would actually see all the different files that got modified on your system. It'd say
Okay.
updating dot, and then it would have the different file names that got changed on your system. And then you would see whatever revision number, like at revision 178, because maybe there was a
Okay.
whole bunch of changes that happened overnight.
Okay.
And it would
Okay.
just pull all those down and make, your copy match
Mhm.
the master copy at that point. Uh
Okay. So when morning I will come, I need to connect with the SVN
huh.
and then check SVN status.
Mm-hmm.
If there will be changed file, that automatically update to my file local,
Yep.
and then I can, if I am changing anything, then I need to make status, then info, then update these things,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So you always
And
do an SVN status and just make sure you don't have any changes that you forgot to commit from the night before. And then once you verified nothing, haven't missed anything, go ahead and do the SVN update to pull any changes down.
mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Then you can start working. And then,
Yeah.
work in batches, do some changes that are kind of all the same, like you might be working on, for instance, the login page. So all the changes that deal with login, you can, commit all of those changes at once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then once those are committed,
Okay.
always do the update again to make sure you get the revision number down right.
Okay.
Okay, and then you could go in and work on, say, the menu changes. So you start working on the menu changes, and you can do the SVN status to see all the files that you modify or add, etc., or modify, I guess. And then
Okay.
once you think the menu changes look good at your end, then you'll want to do that SVN commit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do an SVN update to make sure that nobody has, added any other changes while you were working. Pull down their changes. But then once you're ready to commit, it's svn commit dash n, added the menu system, or modified the menu system, fixed bug number X, whatever it might
Okay.
be, as part of the message.
Okay.
And then you do the svn update again to get your revision to match the master copy.
Okay.
So basically, SVN status, SVN update at the beginning of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you make your changes. Then you do
Mm-hmm.
another SVN update just to make sure that you have the latest, master copy. Anything that's changed during that time you were making changes. Then you
Okay.
commit and update.
Okay. So main is SVN update and commit the
Mm-hmm.
message and status and help info that
Yep. Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So these things are main to when I start tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And this video is available, so if you need to refer to it, Maga's recorded it. So we're going to go ahead and I think we're ready to terminate this video unless you had any other questions about any of this regarding Subversion, how we track the code changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Moga also sent me the uh, first hour video that we made.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the way to how to update or new files or
Mm-hmm.
um, uh,
Yep.
old file.
Yep. And the nice thing, once you learn Subversion, okay, a lot of the other different types of systems will work similarly to this. So if you get one of them down, it'll be
Mhm.
real easy to learn another one for other, large projects that you might work on with, other companies. We'll probably use Subversion, but never know, we might change to something else like Mercurial or who knows what. There's a bunch
Uh,
of different ones. Linux, they even have their, I don't think it's Subversion, I think it's something else that
mhm.
Linus Torvalds created. He
Mhm.
created his own subversioning system. I forget what it is, but
Okay.
he got his own one as well that he created. So,
Okay.
yep, and they all kind of work similarly. Just
Mhm.
pull the information down, make changes, commit changes, grab other people's changes, and just try
Okay.
to, make sure that everything keeps synchronized properly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good. This is good.
Okay. And you can always reach out to to us if it's like, oh, what was I supposed to do? Or make some little notes somewhere for yourself, somewhere on a piece of paper or whatever, about here are the commands and stuff.
Yeah, I will write down my on my copy. So this will helpful for me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So this way I can update or download the files from there.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And I guess does did were you gonna I guess you're gonna work on the blog right now?
Yeah, because yes, I need to make there one template file and that update it here.
Okay.
Um, Sanjeev, can you please click on the link on the chat, the chrome.google.com remote desktop?
Uh,
Go to your Hangouts, the group Hangouts. Yeah, click on that link.
this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to add that to your Chrome.
Okay.
Add the app. For some things, it might be easier we connect to your machine
Mm-hmm.
remotely. So this is how you do the remote desktop with the Chrome. Okay, so
Okay.
you should install the plugin extension.
Okay, it's installed now.
It should have added that to your extension. So go
Okay.
to your
This one.
now click on the Chrome Remote Desktop. No, go back to your extension. Go back to your apps. Open up a new Chrome tab. Yeah, so now launch the app. Continue to authorize.
Yes, allow.
Yeah, allow. So continue. So now if you want to give us a connection, click on the first one, Remote Assistance. Click on the Get Started button. in the underneath remote assistance.
Okay.
Not that one. Yeah, the one on top. It's gonna generate a code. Say share. You're gonna share it
Mm-hmm.
so we can have control. Click on share. Install that application. Install the Linux version of it. Easy.
It's downloading.
Okay.
Yeah, you do have a pretty fast connection there. Nice.
No, it's Linux. Cool. Downloads really fast. Yeah, and it's in the screen.
Okay.
So go ahead and install that package. Okay.
Yes,
It's
it's done.
is it done? Installation
Yes.
complete. Close. You can close this tab and click on Launch App. And now click on Share. It's going to generate an access code. I'm going to
Yeah.
type that. Yeah. So this is a way that we can connect to your machine.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can.
And you can see on the bottom. So now minimize the screen and go to a different tab so I can see. Minimize the screen. So you have to say allow. Okay. So
Now
now
you can see.
I should be able to go to your different tabs. So I should be able to go to your thing. You can see.
Yes.
You see that? So when Keith is working with
Yes.
you, sometimes it might need to connect. You will see that you're sharing your desktop with him right there.
Okay.
Okay? And you
Okay.
know that you're sharing, so you still have control of this. So after
Mm-hmm.
you finish this sharing session, then you can stop sharing. So
Okay.
essentially, there might be some times where it's easier for us to show you than to talk.
Okay.
So we'll need to do the Chrome Remote Desktop. So just remember how to do that. That link, chrome.google.com Remote Desktop, or you go to your app, your Chrome apps, and launch that and generate an access code and give it to Keith. Okay? So that's how
Okay.
you do that for for things, and that way he can directly show you uh, how to do certain things directly in here. Uh,
Yeah. This will be fast.
huh?
Very good. Well,
Okay.
hopefully we've taught you a few new things. Don't forget about that. How was that auto? What was the command to autocomplete a Linux command? What key do you hit? Like when you do CD space ND. What was the key you press? CD space ND.
Anytime you want to get to something, always tab for it to tell you what the file is or the directory name is. So that's what he's talking about. Okay?
Okay.
So you can kind of see if you type in two letters or characters, then it can help you autocomplete that name. Up arrow, down arrow, blah blah blah. Okay, so Keith will provide you the Zoho. Zoho is the way that we want you to specify the
I got
tasks.
that.
Huh? And the blog thing is already being assigned to you right now. So I believe Keith already created an account for you on Zoho, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Right? So you already have an account on Zoho, and basically you set up your username and password for Zoho already.
Yes, yes, already.
Can you go to your Zoho link and show me so I can know that you know how to get there?
Yes. Can you see now?
So project okay. So now all the things that assigned to are you seeing everything?
Can
So
you see?
so
This one is
show
assigned to me.
show only the stuff that's assigned to you.
Assigned to me. My- These are, if I am clicking on my task, it's showing all.
It's showing all? Okay.
This is my task. I clicked here, then it's showing others
Are you
also.
on a different screen? Can I see your other screen? Are you on a different screen?
No, on different screen,
How many
on different
monitors?
browser. I need to open on different browser.
No, I'm just trying to see where he's at. Okay, because I'm trying to see your Zoho screen. Okay, let me control it for a second. So you
Okay.
go in here. The project is always in bills. Okay. All right. So users. You created him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So to go onto the project again, and let's look at all the tasks that you have. Taking a while to run. And it took a second to render on my end.
I mean, there versus here.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it does.
So that's why I was a little confused. So if you filter on here on the top, you see that filter,
Yes.
and just look for me.
Mm-hmm. And find me, then need to click on
Yeah.
find button.
Go ahead and click on it
Oh, okay. Created.
and find.
It's showing all.
But that'd be another
Still showing all.
thing.
It's still showing all. Okay, so
Yeah.
you can see the things that are specifically,
Anything with the clock. Yes.
yeah, everything with a clock on it, that is yours. So you should have been able to filter. Let's change this so it's looking at you for a second. So I'm going to click on
Yeah.
the person icon on the top right hand corner. Don't move your mouse for a second, please. Hang on.
This one.
Yeah, just hang on 1 second. Stop moving your
Okay.
mouse. Stop moving your mouse, please.
Yeah, I stopped.
Okay. So it's connected to you, your accounts there. There we are here. Come on. So it's doing remote desktop and Google Hangout session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not liking that. Multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
Little delay on my end here. Seeing that. Are you moving your mouse?
No,
Okay. So what I want you to do, since I'm having a hard time controlling your screen, click on that filter icon close beside the new task. Click on it again. No, no, not that. Click on the filter icon beside it.
Like half of an hourglass. That one, yes. You got it.
Okay, then click on me. Click on me. Then click on. Okay, so that's good. And then do a
open.
find again.
That works.
So
So me.
No,
it's filtered by me, then open. Oh, it's just filtering it by. So it's not narrowing the list.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's not narrowing the list. So hit that hamburger icon beside it. The hamburger icon.
this one.
No, the right next to the filter.
It's got the 3 bars on the right of the filter. So,
I'm gonna kill this.
yep, that's the one. Okay, so we got choices of close task, reorder, customize, or export. I don't think any of those are correct. Yeah, I don't think any of those are correct.
So none of those are correct?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So just focus on the one with the the time the time clock. Okay. So whenever
Yeah,
Keith,
that I can see.
yeah,
Here is my
exactly.
name.
So wherever your name is, so just focus on that list there. Type in here soft photon. Enter. Okay. Can't really filter there.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Okay, so that's fine. So just pay attention to the where you have the clock, and he will be adding some stuff in there.
Okay,
And as you do it, try to track. You turn on your Upwork clock, anyways. Okay. While you're working
okay,
on this stuff, like the blog one is the first one you're gonna work on. Um, where is it?
Down. Marketing website.
this one is this
Create
one
blog.
is task.
Yeah.
So we need to cover the timer running.
Okay. So and you can click on that timer right there. So this timer is not the timer for your Upwork. It's what we're using to track our project management hours. Okay. Still leave your Upwork
Okay,
timer when you're working. Okay. So you can take your hourly screenshots. Okay.
okay, okay,
So that's I wanted to make sure that you have your Zoho project and you can specify things of what you've done in here. Okay, so Kate will give you all the inputs, what you need to do, and the menus that you're going to integrate to the header of the blog page and also the current page. So you need to modify the current header.php page so it has the new menus.
Okay.
Next thing to work on then, I guess.
I think that'll be the next thing before he does the
I
blog.
added here blog.
You've added the blog. So notice the header doesn't look good, right? So Keith will show you where the menu is for the new menu that needs to be integrated.
I still think we
Okay.
this menu as is, and when the menu comes across, it doesn't ever cover up the top part. It just covers up the. It's more of a, you know, covers up this part of the screen, but not everything, because they're rewriting the header the way they've implemented it. I don't really want them to do that. I want the header to stay as is, or maybe move around a little bit, but not the way they're doing it now. If that makes any sense.
Pull up the menu.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Say OK out of this. You can stop this remote session. You can close that.
Okay.
Just go to the website.
Stop sharing also.
Um, that's the Google Hangouts sharing. So leave your sharing. We want to show you something first, so you kind of clear them.
That's that link that you sent me earlier.
Me to. Can I stop sharing?
Yes.
Your screen.
Oh, the
No,
Chrome.
don't stop sharing your screen.
Oops.
It's okay. We'll let you share it when we need to.
I need to.
Okay. So. Oh, that's the other one. That's that thing. Need to find
Where do I need to share? And where is this?
You haven't shown it in the menu yet. So. Yes.
Click on that link. Just you passed it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, when you do this, they're just doing the whole thing. So you lose the header and all that kind of stuff. Is the problem with this thing right here. Um, what should happen is we should have, this should always be here, okay? Or the variation of it, okay? Should always be here as in this top part right here. And probably for the part at the bottom, we probably want to leave that there as well. So that's always, well, actually, no, we don't have to leave that. That can go away. So when they cover up, okay, here. Yeah, so when they cover up, they need to just be covering up the lower portion of things, not the way they're doing it right now. And that was the part that I couldn't explain English-wise to them. It's just, have the pullover come this way, but not covering up the top part. So it's basically good. Colors are good, that kind of thing, and that thing has to go away. In fact, I don't think this is, I'm not sure if this is even the latest one. Might be. Might not be.
That's not.
Yeah. I think I had them get rid of.
Anyway, you try it.
Okay. It's like UE4. UI4, I think. Is the one. I think the last one they sent. Maybe in my folder. Or the download folder too. That could be it. Anyway, just got downloaded down here. Yeah, I think I called it UE4 in the notes that I got somewhere. UE5. There we go. Look at that one.
I think it's just still the old one. Yeah, just sure.
Yeah, it's off to the side too.
So why do we have this here?
Oh, that was just what they put it on.
This has nothing to do with the menu.
Right, exactly.
Better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to just give them direction on as far as these stuff.
Yeah, that stuff
Basically.
stays. Right.
That stays. All of these stays.
Does that stay too?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we should go to Ingalls www then, since he'll be working on that one for that other screen. You're just at.
Let's change this to Angus to be or one of this links. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll just be the top black part that stays. I think when we make it to where the menu appears, I think it was basically okay, except I was probably going to have that in the middle. Just at the far right. Right now it's just like, I think, way over the far right. Yeah, it's one of the ones that doesn't do anything. We make it wider, we can see where the indeal is currently staged. Yeah, so they've got it justified there, and I think it needs to be more centered. And we've got to add menu next to the hamburger button, like they have at least on one of the iterations they've got. And sometimes they'd add it, sometimes they'd take it back off. It's kind of weird.
Okay, so that was working before. Let's do freaks. There we go. Then.
Yeah, and then what we did, we got it working. And then they modded it again. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll say we have them just revert not have him revert. Have him just work on work on the blog page
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Just create a blog page without the new
Yeah, we just
menu.
don't worry about the menus at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
menu header.
Hmm.
Because I don't think you finalize what needs to be done on the menu header yet.
Not in their thing. No.
Huh?
Not in
Yeah.
the thing that they have.
So that's confusing and I don't want to confuse Sanjeev
Hmm.
a bit. So Sanjeev, just work on the blog stuff, okay?
Okay. Okay.
And just create the content. Don't worry too much about the structure. Just make sure the structure has that neighbor deals logo on the top, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And add the blog underneath the about drop down, so it shows up on there. That's it.
Oh, there's actually already a block here.
Okay, so you just added the blog on there.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can see.
so so you already added a blog, but what I need you to do is uh, add uh, add a post for a container. Just add couple things, and I want to make sure that the styling looks decent enough that you can actually type in. Kind of like the styling on the about page or the FAQ page. You can see it's white. In your blog page right now, the styling is black.
Yeah, because
Okay, so work on that first.
okay.
Yeah, work on finishing that, and
So
once you're done, just ping us.
so far, if I want to edit the file, so I need to follow the same terminal process.
Say that again.
If I want to change any CSS file or add a new file, then I
Follow
do.
the terminal process to edit and check in, to update
Okay.
it and commit it to the master repository. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Because sometimes we edit from the WordPress admin editor, so no need to edit from there. Directly from the files, then edit, then
Then
comment
commit.
that there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. In this way, all can see that what I did changes, make changes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I understand.
Okay. So
Okay.
let us know on WhatsApp or Hangouts if you have any questions. So just try to finish up the blog stuff. Uh,
Okay.
so hopefully you can come by then. We'll have all the details ready for you for getting the new menu integrated, which will
Oh,
work all the pages. Right?
okay.
Okay.
Okay, no
Just
problem.
fix the CSS so it looks like the feedback and the contact us, the
Yeah.
FAQ page.
Yes,
Okay,
it
so
will be
just make sure it
same.
has
This new.
that same header on the top.
Yeah, everything will be same and blog will look good. Leave on me.
Good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay,
Any
thank you.
questions before we do other things?
Thank you, Scott.
Yes.
And you can always, send us a message on Hangouts if you have a question about something.
Yes, I will message you if any question in my mind.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Sanjeev.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
Okay.
I learned a lot of commands of Linux.
Yeah, lots of stuff in Linux. You'll learn more. Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for this.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
then I'm going to start working there.
Oh, did we tell you to start the timer on the Zoho? I think.
Uh,
So go to your Zoho. You're going to start working right now. And
yeah,
what you're working on, go ahead and click on that timer button.
Oh, see, it's showing the filter. Right here.
Oh, it's showing it now.
yeah, I found that from the airplane.
From plane.
Oh, I see. On plane. Okay. Yeah, so the clock right above create blog, yeah, click that. And then that's just a little timer that's running there in the background. And if you stop, just click it to stop it. And
O-
just have it going whenever you're working on the blog. And the same thing will happen for the add login when we get to that point.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, nothing to
Okay.
do with Upwork. It's just more for the actual project itself. This is how we track work that we all do within this project. So
Okay.
I've got a timer running right now on the project myself.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So can I stop sharing?